famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And Bob, we've got a special guest on the phone with us this morning. Take it away, Bob.
Yeah, always good to have Congressman Buddy Carter with us. Buddy, always appreciate the time. I appreciate you calling in this morning. I guess we'll start with the craziness in New York. Everybody's weighing in. Trump says he should be out on the campaign trail, but they got him tied up in court. It is an historic event. First time a former president's been in court charged with any kind of crime. But just want to get your thoughts on what's taking place in New York.
Well, first of all, the New York trial, in my opinion, and granted I'm not a lawyer, thank goodness, but at the same time, these seem to be drummed up charges. I just, I fail to see, and I've read a lot about it. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I've read a lot about it. And from what I read, what I'm hearing is that it is, these are not really felony charges, and they've just been drummed up charges to try to keep him in court. So, I understand where he's coming from, what he's saying, and certainly it's, he's not able to campaign, and, he's claiming, well, it's election interference. It's a mess right now, but hopefully it'll get straightened out before long. And, of course, he's got other court cases that are pending as well, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, the one news that came out yesterday is the two men have decided they will debate. So I understand there's two debates set up, so I'm sure that'll be must-see TV.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that they are going to debate. I question, the one that's going to be in June. That's kind of early. There's still a lot of time left, but nevertheless, there'll be early voting as well. So I'm a little surprised that President Trump, former President Trump, went along with some of what President Biden had put forth. But nevertheless, evidently they're going to go forward with this type of setup, and from what I understand, no audience and just the two of them, and we'll see what happens. I think a lot of that had to do with trying to keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. out, too. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah,
I saw this morning he's kind of upset. He thinks he should be in the debate as well. But the interesting thing about the debates, talking about the ground rules, they have a thing where if they go over their time limit, the microphone will automatically cut off. So that ought to be interesting to see if they can keep those guys quiet. But a lot going on. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, the craziness going on these college campuses. A lot of graduation ceremonies have been affected. Kids are out there. Most of them they talk to don't know what they're out there for. But just want to get your thoughts on all that chaos taking place across the country on these college campuses.
Well, I tell you, I think it's despicable, and it should not be tolerated. Anti-Semitism has no place in our country, in our society, and no student, regardless of their religion, regardless of race or whatever, should have to go to school in fear. And this is just unacceptable. And I applaud those who are, for instance, University of Georgia. I thought Jerry Moorhead did an excellent job. In fact, I met with some of the administration from the university yesterday. They were up here and told them just how proud I was of the way that the university had handled it. I think we've done a pretty good job in Georgia. Columbia, UCLA, that's inexcusable. And the administrators there, if they can't get this under control, then they should be relieved, and they should resign and be relieved of their duties.
I just want to get your thoughts on the war in general. Israel doesn't seem like they're going to listen to anything that the United States is telling them. The United States is trying to give guidance, but Israel's like, we're going to do what we need to do. So I just want to get your thoughts on how this is going to end.
Well, I have to be quite honest with you now. I tend to side more with Netanyahu than I do with Blinken and with President Biden on this. I agree. I think that Israel has the right to defend themselves, and any kind of ceasefire at this point is just going to give Hamas the opportunity to regroup and to reload, if you will. And certainly I'm all for a ceasefire as soon as Hamas is wiped off the face of the earth. They're a terrorist organization, and they're not. You can't deal with them. And so, look, all of us want to make sure that innocent civilians are not harmed, and that matters to everyone. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I certainly am sensitive to the fact that there are innocent civilians who are being killed, and we certainly want to avoid that in any way we can. But at the same time, when you're dealing with a terrorist organization like Hamas, I don't think there's any giving up or any letting up, if you will.
Okay, just joining us on the phone with us is Congressman Buddy Carter. About the war in Ukraine, Congress passed that, sending them supplies. Got any update on how that war is going? I don't really hear much about it lately on the news. They said the Trump thing's taking 24/7, so the war in Ukraine's kind of got bumped to the back page.
It has kind of taken. You're right. It's kind of been put on the back burner, but I will assure you that we are paying close attention to what's going on to it here in Congress, particularly in the way of what weapons are going there. We want a detailed follow-up, and we want to make sure that the inspector generals are doing their job and making sure that these weapons are being used properly and they're going to the right places, and that's very important. Accountability is extremely important when it comes to this type of thing. We want to make sure that the weapons that are going to Ukraine are being used and properly and going to the right places, and that was one of the things that we made sure of when we approved this, when we voted in favor of this, is that we would have accountability as to exactly where this money was going and where these weapons were going.
You've got a big district here in the state of Georgia. The governor just passed the budget recently. So how is the district going to benefit for some of those items in the budget, and what's going on in their district?
Well, obviously, the Hyundai plant is the biggest news. There's no question about that. And the ripple effect, if you will, that's going to have all throughout our district. I mean, it's going to have a ripple effect throughout all of southeast Georgia, and everyone is going to benefit from this, whether it be home builders, whether it be construction workers, everyone, and the impact on our economy is going to be just tremendous. A lot of challenges, there's no question about that, particularly in the way of housing, particularly in the way of labor, particularly in the way of infrastructure, water and sewer, all of these things we have to work through. But the biggest, I think the biggest benefit that we're going to have is that we're going to see economic development in our district like we've never seen before.
Anything else going on in Washington we need to know about?
Well, this week is Police Week, and I would be remiss if I did not mention that. We've had a number of police officers up here throughout the country and from the First District. I've been very, very glad to see those who have come by the office. We passed a lot of legislation this week dealing with our police, and had a lot of services, memorial services, to honor those who were killed in action and in the line of duty. So it's been a very special week up here from that perspective, and we certainly back the blue, and we certainly thank the police for what they do in protecting us and enforcing our laws.
And Memorial Day right around the corner. Where are you going to be for that? You got any special plans?
What was that, no, July 4th?
No, Memorial Day coming up on May 27th.
Oh, Memorial Day, I'm sorry. Yes, yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've been in, I think we're going to be in 5 weeks in a row, so we're kind of getting a little tired of each other up here, so we're glad to be able to get home and to finally get some time off. And we'll be throughout the district. I'm going to be traveling a lot, but at the same time, I'll be in the district as well.
Yeah, and as you know, we like to make news here on the Butch and Bob Show, buddy. So I got to ask you this question. Election year this year, everybody's out voting right now, but people are looking in future elections. There's been a lot of talk about Governor Kemp possibly running for that U.S. Senate seat, but my sources tell me that he's not interested in that. He's looking for bigger fish to fry, possibly a run for the White House in 2028. And the word is that you might be looking at that U.S. Senate seat. Any truth to that?
Well, if you want to make news, we'll make news today. If Brian Kemp or Kirby Smart are not running, then Buddy Carter's running. I will assure you of that.
Okay, so you are looking at that U.S. Senate seat.
Yes, we are. But
there's only 100 Senate
look,
seats, so I guess that's more prestigious. Is that correct? You tell me.
Well,
you know more about politics than I do, but that's the way most people view it.
Well, I'm not sure about that perspective of it, but being able to represent the entire state of Georgia would be quite an honor. I am honored where I am. Please don't misunderstand. I certainly consider it an honor and a privilege to represent the 1st District, my home, but to represent the state would also be a great honor as well. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done over there. We do our work over here in the House, and a lot of times we refer to the Senate as where all good bills go to die. There's a lot of work we need to be doing in healthcare. There's a lot of work we need to be doing in broadband and communications that being over in the Senate, I think, would give us an opportunity to do a lot more of that work. So, God's got a plan, and I just pray that I'll have the courage and the fortitude to follow his plan.
Well, again, we'll watch that closely. Again, glad to know my source. You kind of scared me though when you said Kirby Smart. I mean, we're paying him $13 million to stay in Georgia. He just signed a 10-year deal, so you just kind of scared me when you mentioned him running for politics.
No, I think Kirby's going to stay where he's at.
Yeah,
if I were him, I would.
You kind of should be there.
About it. If I could get $13 million a year, I'd be there.
Well, again, we always appreciate the time. Again, always good talking to you. And again, wish you the best of luck, and no matter what you run for.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Okay, buddy. Thanks so much.
Take care, buddy. All right, Congressman Betty Carter, our special guest this morning on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And we appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule up there in Washington, D.C. to be with us here on the show.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You heard that he's gone. Yeah,
I heard that Kemp's not running for that seat. He's looking for a possible run for the White House in 2028, and the word is that Buddy Carter's going to run for that.
Is this Warnock's seat?
No, this is John Ossoff's seat.
John Ossoff's seat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In 2028.
2028, yes, sir.
Okay.
So
4 years from now.
Huh?
Yep.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny it. No, he said that
he said if Kemp's not running,
he's running.
Right, so
it was just like this last time. He probably run this last time if Herschel Walker hadn't run. Right. He had mentioned that. But if Herschel was going to run, then he was not, and so he didn't. And so if Kemp's not going to run for the seat that Warnock has, then Ossoff has, then he'll run. That'll be the second first congressional representative that will have run for a Senate seat if he does that. Jack Kingston did that several years ago and lost to David Perdue in the Republican nomination. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, follow
you think that Kemp's got his eye on the old presidency? Huh?
That's the word. My sources tell me that he's been talked to by a lot of people in the Republican Party. They'd like to see him make a run in 2028. So,
well, he's done a great job here in the state of Georgia. I mean, just about everybody, I don't care who you are, agrees with the fact that he's done a great job handling the COVID situation, bringing in business, getting raises to the teachers, doing reforms to help things better here in the state of Georgia. He's got a good track record for the state, according to a lot of sources out there, and we'll see what happens if he decides to run for the president in 2028. Now, what's going to be, interesting is in 2028. If Trump wins, that'll be the end of his second term, so he won't be able to run again. If Biden wins, then that'll be the end of his second term, so 2028 is going to be wide open.
Right.
Wide open. And we'll see if that happens. it would be good to have another Georgia governor as president of the United States, like we did back in the 70s.
Hope it goes much better than that one.
Yeah. Hopefully it goes better than that one did. But it still would be good to have a fellow Georgian as president of the United States. But a lot of sources agree, and then in the state and around the folks in the know on the national level that Kemp has done a great job here in Georgia, and he's got the respect of other governors throughout the country.
Speaking of that, President, I saw where his grandson gave an update and said he's in his final days, but they've said that for the last
He's been in hospice for a year and a half. Usually
Yeah.
that's just a few months thing, few weeks or few months thing, and he's been in hospice, and who would have thought that he had outlived his wife? Because he went into hospice, about a year before she died, and he's in his final weeks. It looks like we're what the
That's what the
grandson said.
right?
Yeah. If you ever get the chance to go over to Plains, Georgia, and do the Jimmy Carter tour there, it's where he grew up as a kid, all the way through, high school, and then on to the Navy, and been on a submarine, and then became a peanut farmer, and then got into state politics, and then became governor, and then president. That's quite an accomplishment for a man from Plains, Georgia.
If you were smart enough to buy Billy beer and have any of that Billy beer,
his brother,
you can make some money.
Yeah.
That stuff goes. That's a big item.
Yes, sir. Old Billy Beer. Yes, sir. Jimmy's brother decided to cash in on the fame of his big brother.
That was some awful stuff.
Did you have some?
I tried some.
You tried some. It's awful, huh?
I didn't keep it. But I'm just saying, if you go on the internet, if some,
you don't want to open it. You just want to.
You can make a good penny if you have
make
some.
a good penny out of it. The whole Jimmy Carter tour there. Well, it was free back in the early 2000s when I went through there and took the tour, and it's a self-guided thing. You're not going around with anybody. You just go to this old farmhouse where you grew up, and the school, and different places around, and the visitor center there, and it was free at the time, and I guess it still is. But one good thing about doing it is taking kids over there who have never grown up on a farm or been on a farm. It's good to show them the farm life of back there in the 30s, 40s, 50s.
He did a lot for the peanut industry, that's for sure.
Yes, sirree, Mr. Peanut himself. Yes, sirree. And who would have thought that a peanut farmer from the Plains, Georgia. Of course, he was governor of the state of Georgia, and I remember back when he was governor, he stopped by this radio station twice, once at the beginning and once at the end there. And so, in his final day, 99, he's 99, man.
In Willie Nelson's book, he talks about him and the president up on the roof smoking some marijuana.
Willie Nelson?
Yeah. In his book.
Said Jimmy was up there doing that? No, Jimmy wasn't up there doing that.
That's what Willie
No, Prez wasn't up there on top of the White House doing that.
That's what Willie, that's one of
That's
Willie's
what Willie
favorite.
said?
That's one of his favorite stories, up on the roof, late at night. It's in his book. I read.
Jimmy's just up there chilling with Willie, huh?
That's what Willie says.
That's what Willie says.
That's what Willie
we
says.
We didn't say it, folks. Willie said
you
that.
read Willie's book.
You read Willie's book.
There's a chapter in the book about his night at the White House.
Is there anybody that he hasn't lit up a toke with? Yeah.
He has his own branch, what I understand. Still singing Willie songs, still kicking. But
yeah, still going out there, still picking and grinning.
It's in the book.
Okay. If you say so. I remember when he did the performance in the White House.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
They got a bowling alley in the White House, too. You know that bowling? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have a bowling alley there. Different presidents have different things there, but they do have that. I think it's a one-lane bowling alley there. Yeah, I've seen pictures of President Nixon bowling there.
According to Willie's story in the book, they bowled all afternoon. He did a concert that night on the White House lawn.
He did.
And at midnight, they went up on the roof, and the rest is history, according to Willie.
Snoop Dogg says that he'll never party with Willie anymore because he's not even in the same level as Willie. Snoop Dogg is in his own level of self. Oh boy, I don't. It's amazing how Willie's still out there kicking and doing his thing. You know.
How old's Willie?
He's got. I don't know. Yeah, like 150 or something like that. I don't know. He's well preserved, I guess.
He's up there. Been performing for a long, long time.
He's got to be around 90.
I was going to say he's got to be close to.
Yeah. Yeah. But oh boy, so we got a football game tomorrow night at JC Stadium, right?
Yeah, scrimmage tomorrow night. Come on out at 7:30. $5 admission charge. Went by price yesterday. Like I said, they're excited to play against somebody besides themselves. They've had 2 weeks of good practice and a lot of enthusiasm out there with the new football coach. So come on out and watch the action. We'll have it for you if you can't make it on WIFO tomorrow night. Joe and I broadcasted and talked with the coach afterwards to get his thoughts on the spring practice and the upcoming football schedule in the fall. It'll be here before you know it. Like I said, the graduation will be here a week from Friday, and then summer will fly by, and they'll be back in school in August, and we'll be doing football.
Yeah, we'll start with football and Wayne County girls softball in August. Out there where it's 95 in the shade and 115 in the sun.
State runner-ups last year in softball. They got a good chance to win it all this year.
State runners-up last year, the girls softball team. Man, was that something or what? And we'd like to congratulate Appleton County Baseball, right?
Yep. Great comeback. Like I said, they finally got that Game 3 in yesterday afternoon. Again, they picked it up where it left off. After 3 innings, Appleton was down 4-0, but Appleton stages a nice comeback and wins on a walk-off hit. At the bottom of the 7th, went 8-7 over Mount Perrin Christian. They now will play North Cobb Christian. That gets underway this Saturday up at Georgia Southern's campus at Georgia Southern's baseball stadium. So that's where the AA championship's going to be. So
okay.
We wish the Pirates the best of luck. I said it'd be nice to see them win a state title.
That would be nice. And, usually we don't say go Pirates, not here in Wayne County. But here, go Pirates. Go Pirates. I hope you win the state championship. Good to have a team from our area right next to us here win state championship. So, let's pull for Appleton County Pirates in the state playoff games up the state tournament up there in Statesboro, you said, right?
It's at Georgia Southern's campus, right?
Okay. We just got a text message in here from the Wayne County Emergency Management Agency. They got a missing juvenile from yesterday. Missing juvenile, Wayne County. His name is Noah Bush. Noah Bush. He's 5'3", small built. Last seen in a black shirt and dark shorts. Last seen in the Mill Creek Circle area around 5 p.m. yesterday. Any information, call 427-5992. He's a young African-American kid, Noah Bush, missing juvenile. Last seen in a black shirt and dark shorts at the Mill Creek Circle area around 5 p.m. is where he went missing. Any information at all about this kid, call 912-427-5992. 427-5992. If you can't remember that, just call the Sheriff's Department. So hopefully he'll be found soon. So let's help find one of our own here in Wayne County, Noah Bush, that went missing yesterday. He's small in stature, 5'3", and very small stature. Weighs about, they say 59 pounds, but I think he'd have to weigh more than that. But he's just a small stature kid. All right.
Keep our fingers crossed they find him.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed and keep a lookout for him. See what happened to this kid, and hopefully he's safe and can get him back with his family. All right, Bob, anything else going on?
PGA Championship out there at Louisville, Kentucky, that nice golf course. So that's always fun to watch. Starts today. They've already teed off. So, of course, Scotty Scheffler, the odds-on favorite to win again. But there's a good field of golfers there. It's always fun to watch a major golf tournament over the weekend. So look forward to that. And speaking of golf, reminder that people in this area, the golf course will be closed this weekend to the public because they got the annual Rogers Cup. You have to be a member of the Men's Golf Association. If you haven't paid your dues, you need to pay your dues before you can participate. Call Dale Keith. He's the treasurer, but that's always a 2-day event. But it's the best tournament of the year for a lot of the golfers.
Well, good luck on Saturday.
It's just a lot of fun. Well, I understand the rain's supposed to be late in the day.
Late in the day. Okay.
So we should. We're teeing off at 10 o'clock, I think it starts. So
all right, so hopefully the rain will come in later.
And like I said, they had a bunch of rain forecast last Saturday. It never rained, so
you never can tell these things. They're coming across from the west. They come across from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and sometimes they hit us, and sometimes, and many times, they get pushed north of us.
You heard Kylie when she was in here. Daddy, it never rains at the golf course.
You're right.
That's what they tell
There's
people.
There's a dome over Pine Forest Country Club.
It never rains.
There's a dome over it.
If you went to the back nine the last several weeks, you wouldn't know that's not true.
You know that's not true in the back nine. All right.
That should be a lot of fun this weekend. Looking forward to the Rogers Cup. It's named after W.C. Rogers, former member, former great guy.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
So it's an honor of him. So it's just been an annual event. It's just a lot of fun. So I think they got 40 golfers signed up. Again, if you're a member of the Men's Golf Association, you're more than invited to join, but you have to have your dues paid in order to participate. So it starts Saturday at 10 o'clock.
And we do want to announce that we got a call yesterday from the Wayne County Young Farmers that they have postponed their truck and tractor pull that was supposed to be held this weekend, Friday and Saturday nights. And I guess because Saturday night's going to be messed up, they're not even going to have it Friday. So no Wayne County Young Farmers truck and tractor pull this weekend. It has been postponed. They'll let us know when they reschedule.
Okay.
All right, Bob, have a good day. Okay. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And it's been brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, Murphy Builder Supply, Vans Barbecue, and First Southern Bank.